What's up guys, welcome back. This is the 20th of March 2022 and it seems like it is going to be a bumper of a year if it stays at this record pace. All of these hives and nukes are at the moment extremely active and the legs are covered full of pollen. So I'm super impressed by how much they're bringing in, what they're bringing in, and yeah, so there's a lot of controversy at the moment about how and when you do your inspection. Now for me personally, I don't mind when I do an inspection, as in like as long as it's warm above 12 degrees I will perform an inspection. But I do see what people are saying. You will open it up and potentially disrupt, maybe damage a queen, and you can't sort out a queen in that space of time because there's probably no drones at the moment kicking about. And then if you're looking for a flooded area with a drone zone, you're probably not going to make a mated queen. So that's the biggest recommendation to why people don't do it. For me, I would probably just look at the internal frames instead of the outer frames. I'll top up on fondant because it's an important time to feed with fondant. But for now, I just want to have a quick little peek while it's nice. It's a beautiful day, as you can see. It's warm. I just got back from St. Lucia, so I'm probably looking a bit red in the face. So that's not this weather. That's not Wales that's made it, you know, sunburn. But I'm going to do a first inspection, but I'm not doing a thorough inspection, if that makes sense. I just want to see that my queens are firing up. I can see the pollens being brought in, so proteins going in. The queens should start doing their thing right now. So this is my very first ever hive that I ever had. I learned everything through this hive. Queenie is now being replaced this year. Just taking the lid off. I just want to see how they're doing inside. So first of all, that looks like a positive sight. Of course it would. You know, so just a case of let's have a little look and just see how positive it actually is. Now this is supers, okay? So I left a box of stores on there instead of having to worry about fondant and stuff. And as you can see on the top, I have already got so many frames covered, stacks of frames covered. I don't know, they've never had a drop of syrup. So I don't know if these guys are filling out. Are we in a flow? That is the question that we need to know, is if we are in a flow, because that'll tell you exactly what is going on. Or are they still feeding? Now I can see a little bit of glistening there, which would indicate to me is either uncapped and it's coming to the end of its time, but then you've still got capped honey and it's fresh and glistening across there. So that would indicate to me that we have nectar, because I can see the old stores just there. See that like sort of pale white color? That's old stores. They've cleaned it out, they've eaten it. And as you look through, you can start to see them filling it out. Brilliant sign. As you look through the box, you can see more capped honey coming in. So that is a very positive sign that we're in an early spring flow. Super is off. Very nice. These buckies are looking darker than normal as well. I mean, I don't remember my buckfast looking that dark. There's some dark looking buckfasts. We have a interesting setup. Maybe they requeened last year and I didn't realize. I stopped my inspections around October. It's not to say I lost out on a swarm. She should be like a bluey green then. I'm just going to get them to pop down. I don't want to be too disruptive. I just want to count how many frames that I've got. And as we can see, that is a beautiful looking box of bees to come in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on that side as well, 8, 9 frames full of bees. So this is out of frame. Normally it's got food in it. we've got a fair bit of used or fermented sort of honey where it kind of like it goes in your jars. So that's there. I'm not doing a full inspection, I just wanted to just see if we had a flow on. I got some outer frames getting worked by here. Still quite light. Got pollen stores across this one. They're storing that pollen up nicely. Have I got any shine? I've got some clear shine in there as well, so that's another really good indication that we've got a good build-up. We're at the start of the flow, so really pleased with that. Some thick looking, you know, frames across here. Good. Not much in there in terms of nectar. This is what I mean, you've got to be so careful. I've got some shiny honey across this bottom section by here, so you've got to be really careful, because if we get bad weather, this could cause a starve quite quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bang some fondant on this hive, just to take a preliminary action. Haven't got to any brood as of yet, but that's normally central. So this is where I would expect to start to see brood. And we have got brood. And we've got capped larvae. And just about to be capped, so she's laying on there. Lots of pollen stores. You're a big looking girl. A very big looking girl. Lots of gentle blow, and right now I can see all different ages and very promising looking brood pattern across there. The front I would expect exactly the same. As you get to this age of frames as well, it's definitely worth changing them up, because it does become so much harder to see. But lots of brood in there, stacks and stacks of brood. So really pleased with that. I've seen eggs, so you kind of know that with Queenie being in there, she's in there, like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Jet lag talking by you. Not a massive amount of jet lag, but a little bit. Nice, beautiful size frame across here. Lots of eggs. Everything's about to start getting sealed up. She is on full fire at the moment. For such an old queen, she is doing superb wherever she is. I'd love to say well done, but the likelihood as well, because she's such an old queen, over the winter she could have lost her dot. Start to see some of that brood pattern sort of, you know, coming up by there, and you can definitely, you know, see what you're looking at. But you can tell, I don't need to see any more. I know there is stacks and stacks of frames of eggs in there, so that is amazing. So in this position then, I'll take out one frame and I'll stick a nice slab, of fondant just into there, and I'll do the same again next to it. So this is the double super SM4s, so not like DN4s, but SM4s. And we can see they're either enjoying the top reserve or they're storing, which I highly doubt they're storing. So as I did with the other one, just a quick little peek of how they're doing, and should give us some form of an answer. You can tell when it's been in there a while because everything just gets a bit full of propolis and it just gets a bit sticky, icky, you know. I can see actually shiny stuff on the top of this, and the last time I looked it wasn't shiny. It was like kind of like that set honey. Yeah, look at that. We got a flow. We got a mega flow going on so far. Super glistening. We're in for an early one, guys. That is brilliant news. Wow. Oh, I am so over the moon. This is the second super up. Wow. Second super down. That is amazing. That is a pretty ugly looking set of frames. Lots of propolis on the top by here. You see how the propolis has gone through the queen excluder, so it's left that pattern on it. It doesn't look like a very promising hive, but obviously you've got two supers there full to the brim, right? However, when you go deeper in there, you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 frames. 10 frames full of honey, of bees. Wow, I'm over the moon. Over the moon. I'm so jet lagged. Obviously I've got some wild comb built up on the side by there. I'll clean that out on a proper inspection. I'm just having a peeky poo. Just to let you guys know, it is very warm where I am right now. I am not concerned by going in here. You can see the bees are fanning as well. That's the pheromones most likely. It's not heat because it's not that hot. However, let's go and have a look internally. Now, one thing about beekeeping is looking for pests. Now, as you can see, there's a high likelihood. Now, what we have by here is wax moth. I'm just going to give them a little kill. I'm not overly concerned by them, but it just shows that when you don't go in there very often, things like that, you want to be looking across to see if you can see anything, and that would indicate to me that that frame is empty and that there could be larvae in there. I was a bit worried at first when I saw that. I'm just gonna have a look across there, and that little pattern by there and that eating in the central section is a very prominent sign of wax moth. And that's how the larvae look. Now, as the colony gets bigger, it should sort the issue out. Obviously, if you were putting frames in over the winter, freeze them and take it from there. But that is a common indication of what happens during the winter. There's nothing to be afraid of. It does happen. Everyone's had it, or should have it, or will have it. But that's what. As we go more central, we should see some positive activity across here. So as I hold up, we got any eggs? Lots of pollen. But this time they will protect things, especially eggs with heat. But I can't see no eggs in any of these cells. This is more like pollen, more stores. And if any of you can hear, ooh, look at that. First cell of the year. Is it charged? I doubt it. But it started, guys. Swarm season's on our hands. Yeah, they're playing in there. Don't forget, they make play cups just for fun. So don't start panicking just because you see a couple of play cups. It's just a bit of fun for them. It's when it's charged, it's a different story. I do a gentle blow just to see What I'm not seeing at present moment is Queenie. So I'm just going to put you down a second and have a little continuous look. Right, there's a lesson for us play there. I think what's happened here is this colony is completely hopelessly queenless and has been for a very, very long time. We have no laying workers. There's not one single egg in there. We've got lots of play cups in there, no eggs. And they're fanning. Like I said at the start of the video, they're fanning. So they're fanning for the pheromones, which normally indicates that they're queenless. That's what I found in my experience, that is either A, they found a queen, or B, they haven't got a queen. They're extremely gentle though, especially for having no queen. I mean, they are unreal gentle. In this situation, this early on, March 20th, I haven't seen no drones anyway. Therefore, mating is still too early. The only thing you can do with such a massive colony like this, because don't forget, it's not just that, it's that. You've got to be careful as well. You've got to check to make sure you haven't got a queen in here, which I highly doubt. I've not got a queen in there. Look at them dirty legs. They're not dirty obviously, but there's some very young looking bees in there as well. So maybe Queenie's moved up into the top. I'm going to check that first. Before I come on to the theory of amalgamating these colonies, I'm going to check that. These guys are a lot more feisty than the brood box. Oh no, the colony I wanted to amalgamate them with looks like it's died. This is definitely, this is bad. Oh, bless you guys. There's my first dead colony in the winter. It's going to be a slow build up this year. There, literally, I saw him a couple of weeks ago. I can't see how it's happened. You can obviously see starvation. I mean, they had, where did I just put it? You can see they've been being fed. Oh, bless you guys. Right, we have a queen. She's laying. She's doing well in there. Not the greatest amount of reserves in there. This is my only colony that I can put together with that one. Risky move. The only move that I've got. I've got to use the paper method. I've got to hope for the best. Otherwise I've just lost 3 colonies. So I haven't got newspaper right now. I feel like I kind of got to deal with this as it is. So what you do by here, and then it's nice to have slits. I'm going to be dead honest with you, you don't have to need slits, but it does help the amalgamation process if you do have them, which I will do some fine slits. But don't panic if you've never done it. I've put them in with just newspaper before, and that's fine. I don't know if you guys can see that by there, but there is slits all the way across. Do some the other way as well. Kind of just helps. They get used to the smell of each other. So a big colony like this won't take long to get through to. So, time to amalgamate. I'll bring them over and place them straight on top. We don't want no fighting or anything. I've got a couple that are angry at me. I hear you. So, few there, a few there. Now this won't take long for this colony, which smells amazing, I'm not gonna lie, to get through. As they work together, they're angry, right? That's also another sign. One, they're really annoyed at me. Two, come on darling, watch yourself. Alright, I can hear you, you're angry too. I know, I'm just trying to save you, I'm trying to help you. This is a silly looking hive, I hate doing boxes this big. Bit of weight on this one, which would suggest to me that the stores are doing good in this one. Absolutely devastating. Took that box off, it looks stupid. Strapped up, I'm gonna have to get a retaining strap in there. I am praying that this newspaper method works now, because that's a very promising in a sort of split. I'm risking another queen in there. There's a massive cluster in the center. Those two being together, that would be amazing. I'll be splitting them again in the next couple of weeks, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. So don't panic too much if that does happen. It is gutting, I ain't gonna lie, it is devastating when this happens. It is, I don't know. Hey, onwards and upwards, like I said, beekeeping teaches us this is what happens. So I'm gonna give this method a go. I hope it works. As long as it works, we're on for a winner. So in summary, what happened when I did everything that I did the other day kind of played on my head, and I'm sure it does with other beekeepers as well, but the biggest thing for me was when I thought, have I done the right thing? My hands were tied, limiting factors. I had no drones in any of my hives or nukes, therefore I wasn't able to then place a frame in there in an aid to hope that I could produce a queen, so that I could then repopulate that colony with another queen, because they were strong, they were so strong. So then I migrated them together. When I put them together, I did the newspaper method, but I had A4 paper. But bees can chew through plastic, wood, and stuff like that. Not all types of plastic, but so paper isn't, you know, too much of an issue. Something that I sort of thought about then was, did I do it the right way? Now, there's no right, there's no wrong, but the general practice that we would generally do with it would be if we put the strongest colony as the bottom, right? So that you do not move them, not at all. You then take the weakest colony, which is the one that had the queen, and then you would place that on top, because obviously you've got a good rate of foragers coming back. I've got a super strong colony, because guess what? They did very well with the newspaper method, as I'll show you now. Within that, they have chewed through it. You can see the fine little filings, limiting sort of numbers of bees that have died during this process on the floor. So I know that they haven't gone to war and decided to nuke each other. Everything looks pretty good to me. So don't forget, hit that subscribe, hit that little bell so you're notified of when I do a video, and drop me a comment on if you think I'm an idiot for what I've done, or would you have done the same, or how would you have done it?